Welcome back to Session 0, where today I'm creating a new character with World of Dungeons, and I'm going to run that through the Ash Vault, which I created in my last video using my Ruins acronym. I'm going to use that and the Axebaine's deck of mini dungeons to generate the dungeon as I go. So I wanted this character to be a wizard because one of my subscribers said it would be fun to see me roleplay a wizard, so that's what I'm doing. I've already done some of the work for the wizard. I just want to roll my stats on camera so you can see that I'm not just making them up for my own benefit. Now, if you saw my video of the 5 things from the dungeon alphabet which can help you or which you can use in World of Dungeons, you'll know that I rolled on a table called Books, and I rolled Casting Nets at Dreams by Pente Allozar. I said, man, that's a really cool name. I want to use that sometime, and I am. Not only is this wizard named Pente Allozar, he is the Pente Allozar who wrote Casting Nets at Dreams. So he's real big into dream magic. Now, wizards behave a little bit differently in World of Dungeons than a lot of other role-playing games. In this, you summon a spirit or demon who has 2 domains, and then you command the demon to do things you need done, like magic. So I don't necessarily need a high intelligence, but you'll see in a moment why I still want a high intelligence. Also, one of the ways you summon these spirits or demons are with Quicksilver. Quicksilver is a mild poison and addictive drug. If you drink more Quicksilver doses in a day than your level, you must attempt to resist its negative effects with a con roll. So, I want my con to be high because I feel like wizards in this setting are going to have a high constitution just because of their reliance on Quicksilver. They're slowly building up an immunity to Quicksilver. So I've gone ahead and picked my skills. Because I'm a wizard, I start with lore, and I also grabbed awareness. I start with summon, and I also grabbed command. I did my shopping. I have 8 torches, 3 rations, 1 dose of Quicksilver, and the ritual stuff. Ritual stuff is incense and candles, things that help me do a ritual, which is another way I can summon a demon or spirit. I also have a dagger which deals d6 damage, although I don't expect to get into too much strength-based combat. I also hired Jensen, who is an armsman. He has 12 HP, 2 armor, and a spear, dealing d6 plus 1 damage. My spirits are Sleep and Beach. Those are in quotation marks because you never truly know the true name of a spirit. You rarely know the true name of a spirit. So those are names the spirits give you so that you can communicate with them. Sleep's domains are dreams and air, and Beach's domains are stone and water. One other thing I did, I used my Facets acronym to fill out a little bit of Pente's story. His flaw is hubris. I think a lot of wizards probably have that flaw. His ambition, he wants to be the wizard whose name comes up when dream magic is spoken about. He cares about his legacy. He funds printings of his book with excess silver and distributes them everywhere he goes. Now, this could be the podunk little village where, number 1, they don't even know how to use magic, and number 2, they might not even be able to read. He leaves them there anyway so that someday someone will come into the village, a wizard of some type, find that book, and be interested enough that it's there to read through it. For enemies, he is a top scholar at the world's most prestigious university. That's why I want him to have a high int. So he has many academic rivals, some of which have the position and authority to send him on quote-unquote quests on behalf of the university. I say that because this is actually why Pente is going into the Ash Vault. This is a suicide mission given by one of his enemies, one of his rivals. He's supposed to go into this ash vault, go to the lowest level where it is expected or assumed the fire ritual or the fire magic which destroyed that library was cast. He's being sent there because they don't expect him to come back. They want to get rid of him. Treat, because of his mastery of dream magic, he's often able to perform tasks while asleep and dreaming. I thought this was a neat little treat because he is such a master of dream magic that, he could do mundane or magical tasks while he's asleep. He didn't have time to do the dishes while he was awake. Go to sleep, and he is cleaning the dishes while he is asleep, and they're physically being cleaned. Maybe it's reading a book, maybe it is writing a scroll, whatever. He can perform tasks while he sleeps. That's really awesome. His secret, he knows the true name of the spirit Sleep, but has promised them they will never use it. Knowing the true name of a spirit gives you dominance over them, and he doesn't want that. He wants it to be mutually beneficial. So that's all of Pente Allozar at the moment. I'm going to roll my stats, and as I roll them, I'm just going to write them down, and then with a bit of editing magic, I will update the character sheet you see. So let's roll 2d6, and 8 is a +1, which is good. 6 minus is a 0. I hope I don't roll too many of those. A 9 is a +1. And 8 is another +1. I'll take the +1s over 0s. And 11 is +2. That's nice. And even though I don't need intelligence to cast magic, I will probably put that into intelligence. Hopefully I can get another one. Another 11 is another +2. That's going into con. And a 6 is a 0. I'm fine with that since I got those 2 +2s. So I think I do put a +2 in intelligence and in con. I will put my +1s in dexterity, whiz, and I think with his hubris, probably the 0 in charisma, which is going to give me a +1 in strength. Having a con of 3, or of +2 rather, means I'm going to have 3d6 hit dice. And to roll my stats, I'll roll 3d6 and keep one of them because 1 is my level, 6. So I will have 6 HP. All right, here are those changes. And now I'm going to go ahead and go down to the table and play through this dungeon. All right, I've got Pente Allozar on the table. A few things before we get into this dungeon. I am going to be using the artifact cards just to give me some effects if I find some type of magical item while I'm in this dungeon. I'll still be rolling on this card, which is actually for quest items, I realized later, but is fine because I can still find something like that in a dungeon. I'll also be using the treasure deck. Treasure deck is just mostly gems, sometimes some type of equipment, etc. The dungeon itself I will be creating using Axebaine's Deck of Many Dungeons, but I thought of a neat thing to do because one of the risks of the Ash Vault is smoke in rooms, which cause low visibility and breathing difficulties. Anytime I flip a card that has a black suit, spades or clubs, that room is going to be filled with smoke. I'm going to randomize my ace, which is a starting card, and it doesn't matter what the quest on it is because I already have my quest. I'm going to the lowest level of the dungeon. I'm going to say for this playthrough that it's 2. There are 2 levels. Get to the king in that level and collect ash samples. So I got an ace of hearts. There is no smoke here. All right. So I'm going to start with a little bit of role play. I'm going to say Pente has come to whatever town is near this ash vault. And of course, he brought a copy of his book with him. He probably brought 2 or 3 copies of his book, and he has just distributed them among the people. He has gotten an inn for the night, and while he's there, while he's sleeping, he's going to do a little bit of recon into the dungeon. So what that means for me is he's going to go down, and actually that should be in that direction. In his sleep and through dream magic stuff, he is going to take a peek into this dungeon and just look at what's on either side here. This one has a closed room. This one is a hallway filled with smoke. So he did that in his sleep because he is a master of dream magic. So he's going to wake up in the morning and he's going to start a ritual. He gets up really early in the morning so he can do these rituals to summon both of his spirits. He is first going to summon sleep. He's going to use some of his ritual materials and take an hour to summon sleep. After that hour, sleep appears near him and he says, "Good morning." He's always trying to be friendly with these spirits. "Good morning, sleep. I have need of you today." Sleep acknowledges in whatever way sleep always acknowledges, and then he begins to summon spirit. And he's going to do that in the same way. Use his candles, concentrate for an hour, and when Beach appears, he does the same thing. "Good morning, Beach. I need your services today." And maybe he doesn't say need. Maybe he says, "I request your services today." So I have both of my spirits summoned. Now, at some point, I could command them. Again, command does not use a die roll in this game. It's just telling your spirits what you need done. And I'm going to always phrase it as a question. "Can you please do this for me?" Then he's going to set out. Now that he has both Sleep and Beach summoned, he's going to set out in the direction he has been told the dungeon lies. As he gets close, he can tell he's right in the right direction, though, because through cracks in the earth, he can see little bits of smoke coming out of the ground. He knows that this dungeon is somewhere underneath. So he gets in the right direction, and eventually he finds the entrance to this. What do I want to use for him today? We'll use this. Eventually he finds the entrance to this dungeon. Now, what does that sound? Is he going to hear a sound? None. There are no sounds. He hears nothing. But before he attempts to move into any new areas, he's going to ask Sleep. Rather, he's going to ask Beach, because Beach is stone and water domains, if he can please give him a stone-like armor. It's not going to be a physical armor, but his skin is going to be stone-like, giving him an armor of 2. And that is, I'm going to put that here because I hard printed the 0 in armor. So he has an armor of 2 just to help him, because he knows the story of the Ash Eaters. If they bite you and cause damage, they could make you turn into ash. Then they would eat you, and that is not good. Then they would learn everything you know. So, going a little bit further, in his dream walk, basically, he saw this door here, and he peeked inside and saw a couple chests. So, naturally, he is going to move into this room. No smoke. In these chests, there are 1d8 plus 10. It says gold, and of course, I'm doing silver. So he is going to go ahead and open these up. This is kind of a bonus for him. 80 silver is nice. He also is going to walk up these steps. He could see that there was something up here in his dream walk, but he didn't know what it was. It's a magic pool. Does it have any effects? Once per day, you can drink it, and for 3d6 times 10 minutes, you move twice as fast on land. That's interesting. I don't think he's going to test that, though. Although maybe he will. Maybe he's going to ask Beach, because his water, and because one of his domains is water, hey, Beach, could you please tell me what's in that pool? Is there anything that could harm me in that pool? Beach uses whatever magic he possesses to test the water in the pool and tells him nothing that would harm you. It would probably help you out. So is he going to take a drink? I think this is going to be a wisdom roll to see if he's wise enough to drink from the strange pool or not. I do get a +1. The risk, I think, here isn't, crazy bad. He's going to dip down to, take a drink out of it, but because the floor is slick with ash, he's going to slip and fall into it. So it's whiz +1. It's a 9, 10. That's a success. He does just fine. He dips down, or bends down, dips a cup out, and takes a drink. And now for 3d6 times 10 minutes, which I'm not really tracking time, so it doesn't matter. That would be 100 minutes, so an hour and 40 minutes. He would be able to walk twice as fast. Now, I think because, let's not forget, he has the armsman with him. He'll tell Jensen, too, hey, I feel really fast right now. You should take a drink as well. So they both take a drink. I also need to state that I have lit one of my torches, and Jensen, the armsman, is carrying that. So we've made it through this room. We're going to come out here. One thing that's interesting, because of that speed, I think just moving is going to be risky because of that slippery ash. So every time we move, I'm going to roll a dex roll to see if they slip and fall. And if I fall, I'm probably going to grab out for my armsman, and my armsman will fall as well. So it's +1. The risk is just falling over. That's another 10. I don't fall over. I don't slip on the ash as I'm moving here really quickly. We'll come into this room. Number 1, it does have the black suit. It is a spade. So this room is going to be filled with smoke, meaning he can't see this ash eater over here. So he's going to now speak to Sleep. Say, Sleep, because his domain is air, one of his domains is air, he'll say, Sleep, can you blow this smoke away? And he kind of chokes and coughs on it as he's saying it because of the smoke. Sleep does its thing, and the smoke wafts away. And now they still can't see this ash eater because it's around the corner. But when they get there, when they get close, they'll be able to see that. So they get to about right there. Again, moving quickly, so they might slip on the ash. It's +1 for dex. 8, 9, they are going to slip a little bit. They succeed, but a little bit of the risk comes to bear, and they slip, and they catch themselves, but it draws the attention of this ash eater. This ash eater comes around the corner, and it's going to just make a lunge for the one in front. That, of course, is me, because I didn't do that properly. I should have stayed in the rear. But its damage is not a lot. It's D4 -2, and it does have 2 hit dice. Let's roll its hit dice real quick. 5, and I'll drop 1, so it is only 5. This ash eater has 5 hit points. It comes at me, and I need to do a dex roll to see if I can get out of the way. Again, risk here is I fall, and it falls upon me. That's an 11. That's a success. I don't fall, and I am able to move out of the way. And I'm going to say able to move out of the way just enough that my armsman's spear is going to catch this ash eater and deal some damage to it. His spear is D6 +1. I need to deal 5 damage. It has 0 armor. That's 6. I do 6 damage to that ash eater, and it's down. I do get I'm going to say just 20 XP for that. I'm going to say everything on this first level is a level 1 Ash Eater. When I get down to level 2, they're going to be level 2, so they're going to be worth a little more XP. And I turn around to Jensen and just say something like, man, that was close. Thanks for being alert, being on guard. We're going to move to the next room, and right through here where this Ash Eater was is clean of ash, because Ash Eaters eat the ash and lick the walls and floor to get that ash, which gives them knowledge. It's gross, but that is the unsettling thing about this dungeon. So I don't need to roll for dex there. Let's go into the next room. Oh, this is an interesting looking room. And I don't think these traps are going to be here because, you know, this was initially built as a library. It wasn't built to trap people. So it's just a library. There is probably going to be some ash in here, though. So they're going to move through quickly and decide whether to go south or west. And again, we've got to test dex to make sure they don't slip and fall. I think because there's a trap in here, slipping and falling is actually going to hurt them a little bit, maybe 1 point of damage. It's not a lot, but that is the risk of slipping in this room. That's a 12. Not only do they not slip, what's the benefit, though? Because with a 12 plus, it's a critical success. I gain some kind of advantage. I think at this point, because they have been walking through this dungeon a little bit, they kind of understand what the ash feels like underfoot and how to, you know, move their feet, adjust their feet, whatever, so that they're not slipping. So I think at least for a while, maybe 2 or 3 rooms, 4 rooms, I'm not going to roll for dex to see if they fall over. They've acclimated themselves to the environment. So they're going to go south because it's the first new area they come to. It is a Terminator. It's red, so there's no smoke in here. They're going to come in here. Now, this dungeon originally was a great library. And I think this is just maybe one of the big viewing rooms. There's a doorway here into a small room with a cot. Maybe one of the librarians would rest in here, whatever. This room is a little bit bigger, and maybe this isn't a viewing room. This is just a library stack. This is one of the rooms that held several books, now ashed completely, of course. So we have to decide, do we want to go into the first room, see if there's anything there, or just continue around to see if they can find anything interesting. I think they will go into the first room just out of curiosity, and he is going to look around that room. Let's do a wisdom roll to see what I can find, and because I have the awareness skill, I'm going to get to re-roll that. So it is +1. That's 9. +1 is 10. That's a success. I do find something. Do I want to find something on this card or on here? Let's just grab the top treasure card. Wandering Monster, I'm not going to use. I am going to get a potion of defense. 2 extra combat dice when defending. So what that means in terms of World of Dungeons, I think, is while I have that +2 armor right now from my spirit, I also now have a potion I can drink to do the same thing. So I have a potion of stone skin, I'll say. And maybe because I can do that, I'm actually going to give that to Jensen. You know, that's an ability I can always do through my spirit. I'm going to give this potion of stone skin to Jensen, and he can use it to increase his armor. So now we're going to have Jensen go out, and he's going to lead the way. And we're going to go into the next room. Once we get into this room, of course, everything is turned to ash. And there is like a metal chest here that has a hard lock on it. I think At this point, I can use Beach to use his stone domain in some way to crack this chest open. So I ask Beach, can you please maybe fill this lock so full of stone that it cracks open and we can open this chest? Beach obliges. I would be glad to, sir. He does it. The chest cracks open, and inside is a heroic brew. Let's see, I can make 2 attacks instead of 1. I think in World of Dungeons, I'm going to say that's just going to let me re-roll a die, or re-roll dice 1 time. Potion of re-roll, I'm going to call that. And then we're going to move into this room, and we have another pool. Let's roll a d12. It's got an 8. Blinded for 1 hour. That's not good if I touch it. So, again, I'm going to ask Beach, who's one of his domains is water, can you test this pool for me as well? He's going to test it, and he's going to say, don't touch that. That's not good for you. It's good to have those spirits helping you out. Now, I do wonder, why are there so many magical pools in this library? Water is not good for books. Were these pools added later, after the destruction of the library, or were they part of the initial construction? And maybe as traps, per se, for people coming into the dungeon or into the library that they didn't want there. I don't know. That's something I'll figure out. It's weird to have those dungeons in a library. So seeing nothing else interesting here. Oops, this one is... One of these is Jensen. We're going to go back out. Now I'm going to let him lead the way. We're going to go to the next card. We get another hallway that has smoke in it. And an ash eater. So again, we go in choking a little bit. Maybe I'm going to make a con roll here to see if the choking affects me. Maybe it takes away some hit points. I get +2 on that. 3, 4, 5. That's a 0. I do take some damage, and because that was a bad fail, I'm going to roll d4. I still only take 1 damage from it. So I'm down to 1, and I'm going to say Jensen is down 1 as well. So Jensen is down to 11, and I'm down to 5. But I will ask Sleep again. Sleep, can you blow this smoke out? And Sleep obliges. Now, this zombie, it is a zombie type. This ash eater is a little bit farther away. So as they get close to the corner and peek around, they can see it. Or at least Jensen can see it. And Jensen will say, hey, hold up just a second. There is one of these bad boys in here. Now, I think in an effort to protect Jensen as long as I can, because even though Pente Allozar is very hubris, or he has hubris, I think he still cares about the people around him. So he's going to, instead of letting Jensen rush in for the attack, he's going to say, hold up just a second. Beach, can you do me a solid and drop some stone from above on this ash eater? He will oblige, but for this one, I am going to make an intelligence roll, I think. Even though magic doesn't count towards intelligence, before Beach does this, he's going to stop and think, is this a smart idea? Is that going to block us in some way? Risk is, the answer is going to be yes. That's going to completely block the corridor. If it's just a slight risk, it's going to be, it blocks it enough that it takes time to get through. So this is int, which is +2. 12. That is a full success. So looking around at the architecture, he says, I think it's going to be fine. Beach, please go ahead. Beach does his magic, and stone falls down from the ceiling onto this Ash Eater and crunches it. This one had 4 hit points, and I'm going to roll a big die. It did 9 damage to that guy. Totally crushed that Ash Eater. It's going to be 20 more XP. So now they can move around, and again, this area here has been cleaned by that Ash Eater. I'm running out of room here, so I'm going to slide this card over a little bit as I draw my next one. That's an interesting little side door, side entrance. But there's nothing else I see in here. Now, there are some contents. D10. What is in that? 8 scrapes and cracks in walls. I think that may have been caused, the cracks were caused by the fire, and scratches were caused by Ash Eaters, is what I'm thinking. They're going to come around the corner, and because Pente has awareness, he's going to notice something strange about this wall, and maybe intuit that there's some kind of secret door there. Can he find the secret door? And because of his awareness, he'll get to re-roll this. This is +1. The risk here is while he is messing around with this wall, an Ash Eater is going to come from this direction. It's an 8-9. He does find that there's a secret door, and the slight risk does come to bear. And it's not close yet, but in the distance, Jensen can see an Ash Eater slowly moving towards them. He finds this door and goes in, leaving Jensen to guard the hallway. He goes in here. There's not a lot in there, but there seems to be a lot of money just laying around. That is 4d10 silver. 2, 9, 16... 21 times 10, 210 silver. It's 290 that he has found thus far in here. And I think by the time he collects that, this Ash Eater has come close enough for Jensen to make an attack at him. Now, this is an NPC who I don't know if he's going to succeed or not, and I don't think a roll is appropriate because these stats are for me, not for Jensen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the Oracle, is his attack with Spear successful? Odd is going to be yes, even no. Yes, and, oh, no, it's an even, so no. He misses, and it's a heart, and he misses, and, which is a bad thing. He misses, and that miss lets the Ash Eater come in on him. Now, this Ash Eater is going to make an attack, but it's not really going to deal any damage. I almost don't even need to roll. The roll for his damage is d4 minus 2, so it would be 1, and Jensen has 2 armor. Now, one of that is his armor. The other would be a shield, but because he's using his torch, I'm going to say he doesn't get the use of the shield. So 1 damage would come through, but his armor blocks that. Then he is going to make another attack. Is this attack successful? This is another even, no with no modifier. It's not successful. And now, instead of using just a basic attack, he's going to cast some magic here because this is an Ash Eater who's been here a while. He's eaten a lot of ash, and he has learned a lot of things. He has skills and knowledge learned by eating ash. So what is he going to do? I think maybe just a quick effect is maybe he's going to cast a spell that will try to blind him. Does he successfully blind Jensen? That is odd. So that's a yes with no modifier. He blinds Jensen for probably not a lot, for 4 minutes, which probably isn't really going to take effect here. He backs away, and I come into the hallway, and I'm going to use Beach to... I want to do the stone thing again. Drop some stone on him. Before I give that command or ask that question of Beach, is this a wise thing to do? Is it an intelligent thing to do? Looking at the architecture, will that cause a problem? 5, 6, 7. That was very fortunate. He kind of intuits that even if this happens, there's going to be some rubble they'll have to clear, but it's not going to be terrible. So again, drops some stone on this 6 HP Ash Eater and deals 13 damage to it. Ka-chunk. Now we have a problem. Jensen is blind. He can't really help me out here. So I think it's going to be up to me to clear this rubble on my own. I don't have a lot of strength. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make a series of strength rolls. The risk is I make it worse. Success is going to be removing some rubble. I'm just going to count that die down. A critical success is counting it down by 2. So I'm going to start moving some stone. It's +1. That's a 5, 6. That didn't help. It made things worse. Oh my goodness. He's going to try one more time. And if he's not successful again, I think at this point, Beach is just going to, tap him on the shoulder or whisper in his ear. I can do this. Remember? He's going to try one more time, though. +1. 5. Man, made it worse again. And maybe doubly worse because of the first attempt. So now Beach comes in and taps him on the shoulder, whispers in his ear. Why are you doing this? I can do this for you. At that point, I'm like, oh yeah. Beach, can you please melt this stone away for us? Or turn this stone into sand for us? I'd be happy to, sir. So how do I want to do that? Is it just successful? Let's say, let's do this. How successful is it? Does he successfully turn all of that stone to sand? That's odd, so yes. And diamonds is no modifier. He does. Now, something interesting. If that had come up too, I was going to re-roll these dice. It came up the same. It would have basically not shifted at all. But now this sand is in the way instead of rock, and I will ask Sleep. Sleep, can you blow that sand away? And poof, all that sand is gone. So we are going to go into the next room. Has he recovered from his blindness? It was a low roll, so I'm going to ask the Oracle. No with no modifier. Not yet. I'm going to ask him, hey, do you need to sit down for a while? Is it clearing at all? He says, a little bit. Now instead of a big white blur, I'm seeing stars. And Pente is going to say, okay, let's chill out a while. Let's just hang out. While they're hanging out, does another Ash Eater come from the north? Yes, but no modifier. So there is another one coming. And it has 4 hit points. I think what he notices most is as he's walking down the hallway, he's like turning and licks the wall. He's licking the ash off the walls as he's coming. And that's really unsettling. So after a couple more minutes, I'm going to say he has recovered from his blindness. He can see well enough now that he can see past Pente and see this guy coming. So in the cramped confines, they are going to switch places and he is going to go to attack him, who is now in the hallway with them, with his spear. Does he hit? No, with no modifier. Again, this one is going to take a physical attack at him, but it won't matter. Well, it might matter. It's a 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 hits his armor. Nothing happens. He's going to try again. This time I'm just going to say he's successful, and he's going to deal d6 damage. d6 plus 1 damage is 5, and that knocks this one out. Another 20 XP. Ooh, thank you, Jensen. Just in the nick of time, he says. We're going to go to the next room. And thankfully, it is a Terminator. What the Terminator means, though, is because all of my corridors have been blocked, I get a king. And because that was a spade, I want to keep the spade. And I'm just going to take the king of spades. So we walk into this room completely full of dust and smoke, choking. Let me make a con roll. 8, 9, 10, I'm fine. And I'll do the same thing. I'll ask Sleep, can you blow this smoke away? And he does. So that gets us through the first level of the dungeon. Now I just need to get to the second king, the bottom of the next dungeon level, to see if I can collect my samples and get the heck out of here. Now, a couple things. I'm going to say that one torch is probably burnt out at this point. So I'm going to stop here, but at the beginning of the next session, I'll light another torch. I'm going to take a screenshot of this so I can see what this dungeon looked like. Slide everything down a bit. And of course, that's going to be in the way now. And that's what level 1 of the Ash Vault looks like. A couple different rooms for, stacks, for books. And then as we get into the second level, I'm hoping there will be more books, which by this point have been ashed, just because it is a library, or was a library. All right, let me know what you thought of this game. Let me know what you think of the Ash Vault. It has been interesting so far, using what I know about it. The smoke, the slippery ash, the fact that it's a library. It's been fun using that as I lay out the dungeon. Also, let me know, yay or nay, if I'm doing good role play. For the most part, I feel like I'm always just doing things mechanically and not necessarily role-playing very well. So let me know what you think of that down in the comments. All right, I'm going to clean this up and probably go ahead and record the next level of the dungeon, but that video will come out next week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.